الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا أنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تسألون به والأرحم إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الحدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We praise Allah, we seek His help and His forgiveness, we seek refuge with Allah from the evil of our own souls and from our bad deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides will never be led astray, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, the one giving no partner, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a slave and messenger. O you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not except in the state of Islam. O mankind, be dutiful to your Lord, who created you from a single person, and from him He created his mate, and from them both He created many men and women, and fear Allah, for whom you demand your mutual rights, and do not cut off the relations of the wombs. Surely Allah is an all-watcher over you. O you who believe, do your duty to Allah and fear Him, and speak the truth. He will direct you to righteous deeds and will forgive you your sins, and whosoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has indeed achieved a great achievement. The best of speech is the book of Allah. The best of guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the worst The worst matters are those which are newly invented, and every newly invented matter is an innovation, and every innovation is going astray, and every going astray is in the fire. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We praise Allah. We thank Allah that He has once again allowed us to reach another Yawm al-Jum'ah on this Mubarak month, on this Mubarak day, in this Mubarak time. We praise Allah and we ask Allah for His forgiveness. We praise Allah and we ask Allah for His protection from the hellfire. We praise Allah and we ask Allah to keep us in His remembrance, is that word? Keep us mindful of Him, yeah, and always in a state of remembrance of Him. I thought it befitting that today, being so close to the Eid, inshallah ta'ala, that I would like to give in this khutbah 2 gifts. Yeah? To everyone who is hearing this, to everyone who is listening, seeing, or what have you, I offer you 2 gifts today. One is a secret, and the other is a treasure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned on the tongue of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that there is a secret that I have placed within my slave, so deep, I'm not sure if it says so deep, but deeply within the heart of my slave. Yeah, the secret is placed deeply within the heart of his slave. So deep, in fact, that no angel can write it down, nor can any shaitan corrupt it. Yeah? And this secret is sincerity. We have to be sincere. We have to be sincere to Allah. We have to be sincere in our actions. It is this sincerity that brings weight to the deed. It's sincerity that justifies that deed. You can do many rak'ah. Without sincerity, it's exercise. It's practice, right? And inshallah ta'ala, you will get the reward for doing the obligation. I'm not saying don't do it if you're not sincere. Do it anyway because it's a command, right? But it's sincerity. If your hope is to gain closeness to Allah, if your hope is to maximize the benefit of every deed that you do, you have to bring with it sincerity. And this sincerity is something between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, no angel can write down your sincerity. No shaitan can corrupt that sincerity. So this is a thing in which if you take hold to it, it will be beneficial to you, inshallah ta'ala. The second gift that I would like to give to you is the aspect of being present. The aspect of being present. Many of us, myself included, many of us, we have almost a robotic feel to a lot of the deeds that we do. We know that we're supposed to do it. We know that, and we just go about doing our things or whatever. But you have to be present, or you should be present while doing this particular deed or any particular deed. So what is, again, to make it more clear, I guess I should say. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran that remembrance is the greatest thing, right? Remembrance is the greatest thing. What is the process of remembering? in this context, as far as dhikr is concerned, they say there is no dhikr without fikr, right? There is no remembrance without contemplation. Yeah? This act of contemplation, this act of remembering is the process of taking something as kind of abstract, it's back in your mental somewhere, and you're bringing it into the forefront of your consciousness. Yeah? This is what memory does. Anytime if you think back when you were a child and maybe you're on a BMX and or whatever memory that you can think of, once you remember that thing, understand that you've taken it from somewhere and you brought it into your present, right? And this is the thing in front of you. And this is what we have to do, or we should do, concerning, say for example, dhikr, for example, right? It's not, the greatest thing is not in the vocalization of the words, okay? The greatest thing is when you bring it into the forefront of your consciousness, right? When you're present in that moment, right? It's one thing to say subhanallah, right? A parrot can say subhanallah, you can teach a parrot to say subhanallah, right? But once you say subhanallah and you bring it to the forefront of your consciousness, something for which Allah is to be glorified for, right? You say subhanallah. Maybe it's the rising of the sun. Maybe you've seen the stars and you just are just amazed at the complexity of subhanallah. You know, when you say Allahu Akbar, think of something which relates to His greatness, right? This will bring weight, and it will bring weight to whatever action that is, and inshallah ta'ala, it will be a benefit. In this day and age, in this time that we're living in, we need to understand, and actually this is from the beginning of time, massive results require massive action. Massive results require massive action. The Sahaba were who they were because they gave it all. They went forth with massive action. And what was the result? Right? If you want results in your life, well, I should say this. If whatever results you get in your life is directly connected to the action in which you did to get it. Okay? Many of us desire a change in our lives, a change in our attitudes, closeness to Allah. Understand that whatever change that is, whatever way that you benefit yourself is going to take some type of action. And massive results require massive action. We have to be people of vision. Yeah? We are here at Massive Movement, right? Realize and be aware and bring to the forefront of your consciousness where you're at, right here, right now. What you're a part of, yeah? Right here, right now. This assembly here is a living answer to du'as that were made long time ago. You have to realize that. The fact that we're here now in this building, I mean, I can't speak for anybody other than myself. I know I didn't do nothing, right? I'm just reaping the benefits, alhamdulillah. Someone else, previous to me, they had a vision. They had a plan. They sacrificed their wealth. They sacrificed the time with their family. They did many things in order for us to be here now, right? But realize what you have. We have to stop just have blinders and just going through life without realizing stuff and seeing stuff. We are in a position at this particular masjid. Do you understand that probably, I would say 80% of the masjids in America aren't paid for? Do you know what I'm saying? We are in a beautiful situation. There's not many masjids that have, aside from their masjid, land from which to grow, to build. That they have options on what to do. They can do this, they can do that. A lot of places don't have that. They have the building and they have problems with parking. That's what they have. We have to understand that we are the vision. And as people, we have to have vision. It's not good enough for us to take something that somebody else gave us, and then it's like inheritance, right? It's like inheritance. If your parents or whoever, if they've left you something, right? Understand that you didn't do anything to deserve it, right? You were just born. You know, I mean, you made them feel good. You know, alhamdulillah, they loved you, right? But you didn't do anything to deserve it. They sacrificed. They struggled. They saved up in order for you to have a chance to do something better. And it would be disrespectful for you to use what they gave you and just throw it to the wayside, right? Or just spend it on frivolous things. We have to be people of vision. We have to learn to use what we have and multiply it, right? And pass it on to someone else and let them multiply it. You know, the people who build like the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if you knew for certainty that the day of judgment was coming tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, and you were in the middle of planting a tree, right? Plant that tree, right? Plant the tree. And if you plant a tree, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will plant a tree for you in Jannah. Yeah? And do you think he would plant you a tree in Jannah and not let you benefit from it? Right? But the point is, sorry, I get distracted easily. The point is, as people, as Muslims, we need to have a vision and we need to be serious about what it is that we're doing. We don't need to go around without a purpose. We need to have a purpose in life. What are we doing? You know, we need to think beyond ourselves, right? We need to sacrifice. We need to do things to make things better for the future generations. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala khairul mursalin Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All praises due to Allah. We ask Allah's peace and blessings on the blessed of the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah as well as his family and companions. As usual, I rarely get through what I wanted to say or need to say, but inshallah ta'ala, if you bear with me, we'll get through this, inshallah ta'ala. The one thing I did want to mention was the aspect of regret. Yeah, regret and with sincerity in terms of seeking tawbah and whatnot. It's mentioned that, well, there's a story about an individual. He's a man, and him and a group of his friends they decided to go out hunting, right? And they made it a family affair. They brought the kids and family. They were planning on going out hunting and just having a good time amongst themselves. While out in the woods, the one individual, the star of the story, he's seen some rustling in the bushes, and they had been tracking a big deer or something, doesn't matter. And he sees the rustling bushes, and he's sure that that's the game that they're looking for. So he sights it up, and as soon as it moves out of the bush, he shoots. As soon as he shoots, he hears a scream, and he recognizes the scream. This scream is the scream of his son. He knows what his son sounds like. So he runs over there, and he looks at his son, and sure enough, he had shot his son, and his son died. Think for a moment the feeling of regret that that individual had. Yeah? Of shooting your own son. This is the regret that one should have when they begin to seek tawbah. That regret, that knowledge of knowing that there was something that he could have done to prevent that moment. This is regret. And nothing hurts like regret. Right? Nothing in this world, nothing hurts like regret. When you realize that you could have done something and you didn't do it. You had the opportunity to do something and you didn't do it. This is regret. One of the names of the Day of Judgment is the Day of Regrets. This will be a day full of regrets. When it's done and over with, and you have your deeds, whatever it is that you did, that's what you have. But you will regret that you didn't do more. Right? You will regret that you didn't do more. Ramadan is in many ways a parallel of life, of your spiritual life, if you will. Especially as a convert, especially as a revert, especially as an individual who can point to a time where they weren't Muslim, right? Or point to a time where they didn't really take the deen seriously, right? And then they switched. Ramadan, or the fasting in Ramadan, it arrives out of darkness, right? You begin fasting when the darkness leaves, when the light comes. That's when it arrives, right? And so, so were us, right? Our journey begins. Our beginning begins when we begin the process of moving from darkness into the light. It begins when you see the light. And again, this is whether you're talking about seeing the moon, right, the first person of the moon, or what have you, or when you can distinguish the black thread from the white. Before it arrives, its days are numbered. Yeah? We don't know the day. We don't know how many days Ramadan will be, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. Yeah? The days are numbered, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, He knows the days. At first, it may be difficult for many individuals. It may be difficult. It's hard. Your body is adjusting to things in ways that it wasn't previously used to, or things that it didn't necessarily like to do before. Your body's getting adjusted to these things. You are now being forced to strengthen your intellect, to take control over your desires, right? And this is a process, and this is what goes on in the life of the early Muslim. They're learning to get their intellect charged up, strengthened in order to take control over the desires. But you begin and you take off like a shot. You take off like a shot. You're headlong into it. You're going fast. You're doing this. You're doing everything you can to reap the benefits or what have you. And then as time goes on, it seems like you almost hit a wall, right? A stagnation. This is what happens in Ramadan for a lot of people, right? Usually day 12, right? Now things just become routine. You're just getting through it, right? You're going through you're not necessarily just going through the motions, but you're getting your routine down, your body's starting to adjust and what have you. And then it's about the grind, right? And then it's about the grind. You're going through it. You know what you have to do. You're doing it. You're getting your rewards. You're going to Tarweed. You're reading extra money. You're going through the grind. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is what indicates the mindset of the Muslim, right? What have they done previously to establish that protocol or whatever it is that they do on a daily basis, right? This is the thing that will show up at this particular time. Once Ramadan begins to leave, this is the later stages of our Muslim life, right? We can see the light at the tunnel, right? We know that soon it will be over, right? So now it's easier to amp it up a little bit, right? We see it's coming, day 6 comes, day 5 comes, day 4, and now it's like, well, it's almost over. I have to do what I can to reap the benefits of this thing, and then khalas, it's done. They sight the moon, Ramadan is over, right? And yes, there is a joy that comes with that, right? You did it, alhamdulillah. You sacrificed what you did, and then you've made it through Ramadan, and inshallah ta'ala, Allah accepts all of our fasts. But I believe every person, and I know me, every person at some point during that night, has this little thing of regret. Knowing that they could have did a little bit more, right? They could have prayed a little bit more, they could have gave a little more sadaqah, they could have did more things to increase their situation. And I just urge every one of us to do what we can to relieve ourselves of that regret, regardless of whatever it is. Understand, on the day of judgment, this is the day of regrets. We will have regrets, but we can minimize those regrets. And we can minimize those regrets by doing those actions which have weight. Increase the weight of our actions. It's not about quantity, it's about quality, right? Increase the weight of your action. This is why there's a scale. Your deeds will be weighed. Do those actions which increase the weight of your deeds. Maximize the benefit, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us all in Iman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in the ways to gain the benefit, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala...
Imam Naeem Abdullah of Masjid Al-Mu'min and Nur Zaman Institute is available for speaking engagements. You can contact Imam Naeem Abdullah at the following: via telephone at 267-388-0823 or write him at 537 Paulson Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA 15206, or via email at imamnaeem@nurzamaninstitute.org.
Bismillah.